What is up, everybody? We're gonna be, I really don't like doing this, but we're gonna be changing the spark plugs on the STI. It's due. Technically not for like a couple months, but I'm still gonna do it. It's also double check the mileage, and we're right around that time frame anyway. So let's head into the garage, and yeah, we'll hopefully put a quick video together. I feel like my videos are never quick, but hopefully you guys enjoy them. All right, well, here we are in the garage. Here's what we're going to be putting in. It is literally the same spark plugs that the engine has seen even before. This is engine number 2. Yay, Subaru things. But yeah, those are the only spark plugs I've ever ran. Even just post getting it tuned. These are one step colder. Come on, focus. But yeah, they're not the cheapest things, but also it's not fun to do on a Subaru. Let me hold on a sec here. It's not super, like, getting down in there. It's not too bad, but it's just kind of making clearance. It's not super fun. You know, I've had Supras, inline 6s, Evos. It is just super easy to change those, but not with a Subaru. Yeah, again, I've done it once or twice before. On this side, I'm going to remove the intake. We also have some extra lines here for the power steering cooler, which is not ideal, but again, we can kind of get to this one, and the rear one's obviously a little bit further back. But yeah, on this side, basically all I'm going to do is remove the intake. On this side, just basically remove the battery. I'm also going to try to give it a clean, dude. This thing's really disgusting, and I don't know if I keep like leaking fluid over here, but it's pretty gross. So maybe we'll clean that up a little bit too. I might go with a different battery because, I mean, this one's already back from 2021. So, I mean, it's probably going to fail somewhat soon here in Arizona. These batteries never last. And it's just seen better days. It's pretty gross, kind of leaking some stuff, it looks like. So, all right, I'm going to start. I'm trying to think what side was worse. I always do the worst side first. I think this one might have been a little bit easier once the intake's out of the way. So, screw it. I'm just going to start on this side. That is pretty gross. All right, slide this guy out of here. I think I dropped the little, I don't know, what do you call it? The huge bolt or whatever. Oh, my OCD's not liking how gross this battery is. What's that company that makes the like the aftermarket ones? Here we go, this guy. Millie Design, something like that. I'm saying that super incorrectly. And don't you love how I just cleaned the engine bay and now I'm doing this? Got my fingerprints everywhere. I'm gonna probably get it all disgusting again, but ugh. Yum. How do I pull this tray out without making a bigger mess? I'm sure some people are like, dude, I don't care, just whatever. We'll clean that a little bit. But as you can kind of see, let me see, where are we here? There's the coil pack for the front. So that one actually shouldn't be too bad. I'm gonna try to clean that up a little bit, but then there's another one. Let me get behind the camera here. It's like right, see where that little blue guy is? It's actually the Cobb Flex fuel sensor, or part of the system there. The second one's right back there, so front and rear. The rear one's the fun one, and also, of course, I've got my flex fuel stuff right in my way. Gotta absolutely love it. Oh, I really don't want to disconnect one of those lines. That's gonna be fuel everywhere too. Screw it. Let's just start with the front, I guess. That one shouldn't be too bad. All right, so here's where things get fun. We need to get into, this is what, a 12, I believe? Nuh-uh. Oh, isn't changing spark plugs on a Subaru fun? And of course it didn't hit the ground. Oh, but wait, I see it. Also, if you don't have a magnet, please get yourself one. 4 times like this before you end up with half of your tools. Oh, baby. Did we get it? Oh, yes. So like I said, this is a lot of fun. It's not that difficult per se, but it's just stuff like that, you know? Keeps it really fun. Okay, so what was I saying? 12 mil. Here's what I got so far. And I'll show you guys all the tools once we're all done. 12, and this is a 3/8 ratchet, but it's from Tecton. Great stuff as always. But it's small, it's tiny. So now, just don't drop your tools. Could also get like a 12 wrench, like one of those like wobbly ones, the swivels. But this is the fun of the of doing the spark plugs is just, again, you're right up against the frame. You can only turn things so much at a time. Thank goodness I am by myself this weekend, because I already have a mess in the living room too with the battery stuff. I'm gonna clean that stuff out before I put everything back together. And if I remember correctly, let's see if it's capturing it here. So it's loose, you can see it there. It's out, but it's not gonna come all the way out, so just leave it the way it is. Hopefully your connectors, the little clip-ons, are still good in your car, because they are notorious for going out. If I remember correctly, do these lift up or push down? I wanna say these lift up. The little tab here, you lift it this way, so it does one of these, and then it slides out. If I remember correctly, and if I don't break it. Too big is. Oh, let's see, let's get a long, thin, flat head. Maybe something like this. All right, hopefully the camera caught that, but now it's, of course, this thing's right in the way too, huh? Kind of see it there. So there it is. Don't mind the fact that there's just crap everywhere. God, do I have an oil leak? Like valve cover gaskets, or who knows? Anyways, I'll leave that there. Cool, now probably should have put gloves on, but oh well. So there's the coil pack number 1. Again, here's what I mean when this thing's gonna just remain in here. Kind of hangs out there. Cool. All right, so now that we've got access, now in theory the spark plug's obviously gonna be just right there. We just gotta pull it out. Now this is another fun part of getting your extensions just correctly. So I've got a mix, where's the camera here? I've got a mix of different extensions. I believe this is a 6-inch. Then we go smaller from that. We've got a wobbly fella, tiny little guy. And then we've got 5/8, surprisingly from AutoZone Duralast. But I like these because a lot of these spark plug sockets have like the little rubber grommet there inside. This one's actually a magnet, and it's like glued to the socket, which I love. So I have this one, again, a couple of different extensions and a wobbly fella. And I don't recall needing it, but I also bought basically the same socket, but with the built-in wiggle majiggle. That's totally not what it's called. But same thing. And again, magnetic, which I love. So I don't say this often, but shout out AutoZone. All right, so let's see what. Let me mock it up and I'll show you guys here in a sec. Well, here's what I ended up doing. Kind of remember doing some sort of variation like this before. I'll show you what the tool actually looks like here once I pull the spark plug out. But again, tiny ratchet for the win. So let's finish getting this guy out. I am exhausted. I already went to the gym this morning. Gotta do the spark plugs now, which I actually have a little bit of downtime today. Oh, and then I got a grill later this evening. It's gonna be a jam-packed day full of fun. All right, I'm gonna take these. So here's another fun part of doing the spark plugs. As you loosen them, the tool obviously is going to start coming out towards the outside, towards the frame as well. So you do kind of have to almost like, again, if you guys do them all the time, you're like, dude, you don't need to do all that. But I basically I'm changing extensions as I do them, depending on like if we're just starting it, if we're finishing it. But here we are. Where's the camera? First spark plug out. Here's what I ended up using, which I might actually try the other socket, but 5/8, 3/8 wobbly fellow, and then just a bunch of extensions to kind of get enough clearance and then out of the way so that you can get a ratchet on it. But there's the first spark plug. And also the threads have I'm gonna use this guy today. NEC's lubricants, the OG. This one's got this it's basically NEC's, but it's the copper version. So that's why it looks kind of like that on the threads. But let's see, where's the camera here? We've got I gotta double check the mileage. It's definitely more than 20,000, but less than 30,000 miles on them. But again, never a bad idea. When I had the Evo, back in the days of before flex fuel, it was like pump gas or just straight E85. Back in those days, I just would change the spark plugs all the time, which was a blast, as you can imagine. Also, let me show you guys kind of what I'm working with over here. Just to keep yourself organized, here's kind of what I'm doing over here behind the scenes. Kind of a getaway to kind of keep track of things. Got the new ones there. And then here's all the tools. I'm gonna, again, try to go over this at the end if I remember. So we've got some short and deep sockets, both 10 and 12. Again, all the different types of extensions. But let me take one of these out. And I honestly just do one at a time. I know there's people that just like, oh, forgot we have a light here. Kind of do them all at once. I don't like to do that just to keep myself organized. But again, whatever you want to do. You can see how scrumptious this whole area is with the battery mess. So yeah, I'm going to either clean it. Well, I'm definitely going to clean it because of my OCD, but I'm going to look into maybe replacing it. Again, it's from 2021. Maybe something like a, I don't know about full lithium, something that's like, you know, $400-600 battery, but gross, man, whatever. All right, so let's get the the new spark plug here out of the box. And yeah. And here we got them side by side. Again, the same exact spark plugs are going in that came out because I've had just great luck with them. Not gonna mess with it whatsoever. But I'm gonna put just a dab of NECs. Do you guys say NECs or anti-Cs? I say NECs. I don't know. Could be saying it wrong. But here's the spark plugs side by side. Cool. Also really quick, just to double check. I'm not gonna mess with the iridium as far as like sizing it. I do have a tool to compress and expand the, oh gosh, what's the little tip called? But either way, I'm not gonna mess with it. It's iridium. Just for good measure though, I got the feeler gauge out just to double check it. And this one falls, I'll double check them all as I go, but this one does fall between 0.028 and the 0.30. This one quite doesn't go in. Be very careful with the tip there. 0.28 does slide in. Promise you it did. There we go. So that should be fine. Again, the whole thought there, just you want to run them kind of as big as possible without any spark blowout. Again, with other different cars I've had in the past, they're a lot more sensitive. You got to replace the spark plugs often. With the iridiums, I've never, I do double check them when I get them and replace them on the vehicle, but for the most part, they're pretty dead on. And again, I haven't had any issues with it. As long as you're within the realm there of that size of the gap. If you have a feeler gauge or one of those little spark plug tools, feel free to double, triple check. But again, I personally don't like to mess with the sizing. Sorry, I'm over here doing this. I'll probably do this in front of the camera. Sizing too much, I'm gonna have anti-seize all over my body. Have you seen that meme of like one dude at the shop that works with anti-seize at like 8 a.m. and he's like covered and he looks like the Silver Surfer. But that's pretty much all I do. I don't go too crazy. I know it seems like it's a lot, but I promise you it was like a dab. And yeah, gotta love anti-seize. It just gets everywhere. That's all right. But anyways, what was I saying? All right, we got the spark plug locked in, loaded. Got my extensions. So again, spark plug, it's magnetic, which I love. Wobbly fella, extension, another big extension. So for this part, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna basically take this like a little torpedo, a little STI suppository, if you will. Let's slowly get this fella back in. Just be careful not to knock it into, like if you drop it, yeah, I would probably super double, triple check the gap, but as long as you're nice and careful with it. Also, for the love of God, you're going into soft aluminum in the head here. Do it by hand. If you cross thread or, oh my God, if I did that, I would literally take the car into the shop. Like I'm not doing that. Hell no, that's gonna take me so long. But again, right now you can feel the threads going in, or the spark plug going into the threads perfectly. No crazy resistance, which is what you want. And again, as I'm doing it clockwise, because again, we're tightening it, it's like disappearing into the valve cover, because again, it's going in. So now I'm literally just a little 2-finger action. How'd you get so good at that? I've had Subarus my whole life. You're welcome, babe. All right, so now we got to a nice little stopping spot. All right, and then this thing basically says, oh, it actually even says not to touch the gap here. So that's literally what I did. Well, I checked it, but again, don't bend it or anything. What the heck is this? Oh, not for planes? Dude, people literally put this engine on planes, but okay. 1/2 to 2/3 of a turn. Again, you want it snug, but like I said, you're going into soft aluminum. You want it to seal, but you don't want to have a bad day. All right, so that's just finger tight. Okay, so now we're in. That was about a 1/4 turn there. That's 1/2, roughly. I like that. Take out the ratchet. Going back in. Yeah, that's fine. Again, don't go crazy, as long as it seals. Okay, so now we got the first one in. Now, as far as the next one behind it, oh boy, I'm gonna just leave it, the first one, just kind of leave everything unplugged like that. I'm not even gonna put the coil pack back in just yet. But that's basically how you do one at a time. I'll do that one, then go across the other side, and that's the fun of putting the spark plugs. I'm gonna probably take a break from recording on this side. I'm gonna do these two real quick, and then when we jump over to the other side, then I'll grab a little bit more footage here for you guys, so hang tight. All right, real quick, so it's worth mentioning here. About 12, you can see it's already, where's my camera? Here we go. The 12's already out and loose. For this side, what came in handy was this 12mm / 14mm, again Tecton, offset wrench, so FYI. So there we go, same process, but now, again, nothing over here in the front. But now we're gonna do the back. Also, let's see here. Check out my awesome, you kind of see it here at the top of the camera. I use zip ties to kind of get the positive terminal there out of the way. So again, random fun little tools or tips if that helps anybody. So let me work on this side and we'll move over to the next side here. Oh my gosh, okay. I literally had to take off my hat and go to a full-blown headband because I'm sweating so much. All right, last quick clip over here. Everything's put back together. The coils are back on, the little clips, connectors here, we're good to go. And try to do my best to try to clean this side of that battery, man. It is creating a disaster. And the thing that's really kind of pissing me off here is that it's actually like flaking the paint off of certain areas. So that's not good. But yeah, try to clean things up a little bit. I also can't be good, right, to get that stuff all over the fuel lines too. That's not good. It's kind of my main concern here with the flex fuel being right. Are we picking it up here on the camera? Yeah, right there. But anyways, this side is all buttoned up. I'm gonna leave it just like that for now. Let's go on to the other side. Whew. All right, so here's where we're at over here. Remove the intake. I'll show you guys my super sweet high-tech heat shielding I had here that I also had to move. But we got the clips out of the way. There's the little one right over there. There's a big one. Sorry, right there. You can see the coil packs there, 1 and 2. Again, this side, really disgusting. Whatever, and you guys won't have this probably, but I had to reroute or just kind of move out of the way the power steering lines for the power steering cooler. Ja. And yeah, here I'll show you guys the intake. Super, let's do this, super high-tech heat shielding that I know people are like, dude, the hell? It did work. I logged it. It did work, but it's gonna come off. It's winter time. And now we have a gaping hole. What a hole. So now we just gotta get to these little fellows back there. And again, just try to move things out of the way. I ended up unclipping, I don't know, these could come like they're like 2 pieces. But if you destroy them, I guess just zip tie. I mean, this entire car is held by zip tie, so got some sweet cuts already. But yeah, let me get these loose, get them out. But that's basically what you need to get to this side. I mean, if you have the factory intake, pretty much the same concept. I also ended up moving, what else did I move? Oh, the O2 sensor here. So I ended up, the connector's right up here. Right there. Undo it. Look how gross it is back there. Oh my God, whatever. I ended up doing that too, getting it out of the way. But that's basically where we're at. That's kind of where you want to be for making enough clearance for this side. Cool. Alrighty, so we've got first one out. is. Again, about 25,000 miles on those spark plugs. So got the new ones, some of the old ones. Went ahead and gave this thing a little wipey down because it was pretty gross. But let me see if I can get the camera deep in here. Maybe. There we go. Kind of see what you're working with there. So let me put that in. Again, the rear one's always going to be more of a pain. There's the little guy right there. And again, remember for the driver side, I ended up using, where is it here? This guy to loosen up the coils. On the passenger side, I ended up having to use, what did I do with it? Either way, it was a socket on just the tiny little, where's the ratchet? Oh, there's a ratchet up there on that little guy. So again, you just got to get creative with it. Some tools work better than others, depending on what side you're doing it, I guess, which is crazy. But as long as you got the tools, again, just some sockets, some wrenches, it's really not that bad. It seems very intimidating if you've never done it, especially with the clearance. I promise you, once you get in here, it's really not that bad. Just take your time with it. I have some music playing when I'm not recording because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. But yeah, it's really not too bad. Let me put this first one in, get that second guy out. But yeah. All right, real quick. This is again the one towards the front that I'm doing right now. This one, pretty straightforward. Long extension, the wobbly guy, and then just the spark plug socket itself. Got it all done by hand. And again, damn it. You'll run into that too, but again, this one pretty straightforward. That's all you need. But per NGK, again, it is half a turn to 2/3 of a turn. Because again, they do have that little crush washer towards the top here. I'll show you real quick. That little guy right there. So again, just be careful. You want it to seal, but not ruin your day where you have to. Again, if you mess up the heads, oh my gosh. The quick spark plug changes got a whole lot gnarlier. But again, same thing, gonna be for the one in the rear. And we should hopefully be done here soon. Alrighty, well, we are pretty much, turn this back on, I keep forgetting. Pretty much done. Got the intake back together. Oh my gosh, this took me forever, but that's 100% my fault, and I'm also getting some footage. But while I had this apart, dude, look at my hands. I'm all beat up now. While I had this apart, I also cleaned the master airflow sensor. I got some spray for it, so cleaned that while we were at it. But we are all back together. And try to clean the... okay, so the battery situation is a bit of a mess. Try to clean the tray as best as I could. I also cleaned the battery decently, but oh my God, what a disaster. Again, it's 2021, so you can see it's cracking, looking a little, maybe a little bulgy. So either way, it's on its way out. And the thing that I really didn't like, look at this terminal. It's actually, there it is, missing some material altogether. Luckily, this is a two-piece thing. So I actually just ordered it on Amazon, just this like end piece. I'm assuming this guy just comes off. I haven't taken it apart, but either way, I just ordered it. Because again, we're missing some important material on the terminal. So try to clean it as best as I could. I'll be honest, I don't even want to put that battery back in here right now, but yeah, anyways, I may be doing a battery video Not that I want to, but I kind of just had to because this one's all disgusting and was creating a mess. But again, I try to clean everything as much as I could. It's a little better. But either way, that battery is making all sorts of issues. And again, the thing that's really, oh, want to see this? Check this out. It was actually eating, this is an aluminum piece. It was eating into it. Look at that. That's insane. Battery acid, guys, it is nasty, nasty stuff. So, all right, we'll put that aside for now. But yeah, again, pretty much done. That's changing the spark plugs on literally just about any Subaru. But if you have questions, drop them down below. We're pretty much done. I try to clean this thing. I'll have to give it another little wipey, but try to keep the engine bay nice and clean while I did all of that. Created a mess. As I mentioned, just me talking to myself here in the garage. Do you guys want to go over the tools, I guess, that I use real quick? Here, let me see if I can do this real quick. Battery terminal, battery tie downs. I ended up using a long ratchet with a 12 mil that flexes for the passenger side to get the coils loose. Let me see if I can try to keep myself organized here. Zip ties, because the whole car is held by zip ties. We talked about all the different types of extensions that you will need. Let me try to put those away. This wobbly guy, I don't know what I was doing before I had one. Get yourself one. This is a 3/8 from Tecton. Doesn't have to be Tecton, whatever brand you like, but fantastic stuff. This thing was the Rockstar today for spark plugs, so if you don't have one, pick one up. I have one of these, shout out Crocs. I have this swivel too, but I don't know. They're kind of flimsy. I don't know. I like this one way better. Keep in mind it is a lot thicker, but to be fair, I don't have any issues as far as clearance today with the spark plug, so that's the real MVP today. What else we got? This one you're probably not gonna need on your car. This one was mine specific. Hex long from Tecton again, 6mm. This one we used for the bracket right here for the air filter. What else we got? We talked about the sockets for the spark plugs. I didn't end up using this at all, so FYI if you're looking to buy one. AutoZone, Duralast, magnetic, 5/8. Again, this one for sure have. 13mm for the bottom nut on the intake right there. You probably won't need that yourself, but since we're going through the tools, what else did I use here? 10mm for the battery. Some 10 mils short, 10 mil long. The entire Subaru is made up of 10, 12, 14, 19, 21 was the O2 sensor. Either way, what else we got? Another Tecton offset wrench here. I used the 12mm side, weirdly enough, for the driver's side, not for the passenger side. So again, just the offset was just enough to clear like the valve cover and the coil. Ah. We're back. Nothing happened. I can edit that out. Probably won't. What else we got? Oh, we got the tiny 1/4 inch long extension with a 7mm and the 8mm. Those I used for these little clamps. Again, these are specific to my intake. Probably won't need them on yours unless you're running the same intake. So again, those are for the clamps. What else we got? Get there. Feeler gauge for the spark plugs. Again, I was literally using only these two, 0.028, and can we see it in the camera? 0.030, kind of picking it up, sorry, lighting's kind of funky here. There we go. again, I was just double, triple checking the specs from NGK. Please make sure you're buying these like a genuine set. I've heard a lot of people running into issues where they're running into some that are not real. Honestly, when in doubt, just go to like O'Reilly or AutoZone, Pep Boys, whatever you have locally to you. Here's the specific ones I use. One step colder. These were recommended both by my tuner and by IAG, since we're running, again, flex fuel with some mods. So got the spark plugs, anti-seize. I've had this for years. Amazing stuff. We used this small, tiny flathead, 1/8 of an inch. Now this was used for the little clips on the coils. If you're having issues lifting those off or getting them started, feel free to use a tiny little flathead. Please, please, please be careful, because again, those are known to break pretty easily. iWire actually makes a kit, I believe, for replacing them. So again, it is a common failure point. Just be careful with those, especially if yours are old. Again, they can become very brittle over time. FYI, just be careful. Oh, I guess shout out Milwaukee. Use some lighting here. This guy I use for literally just about everything I do in the garage. Also provide some here. I'll turn off the light. No light. So this one I think was like 80 bucks. Incredible little light. It's magnetic. You can just recharge it, and it's got these guys inside. So I have two batteries. One obviously in the battery, or in the light itself, the one I'm holding. And I literally just run them. Like if I'm doing something long like this today, I'll literally just leave it on all day, 4 hours. Then it dies, and then I just replace the battery, and we're good to go. So also MVP. What else? And then of course, this little guy, small 3/8 ratchet from Tecton. Again, doesn't have to be Tecton, whatever you desire. Small, tiny little ratchet became literally the really big one that we talked about here, and the little guy. Look at that difference. But again, use both. The nice thing about the little one is just you can get up in there, just again with the clearance of working up against the rail and on the side of the car here. So that pretty much covers the tools. I'm gonna put all this stuff away here in a sec. What else did I use? Oh, also shout out Chemical Guys Nonsense. Super cleaner. No color, no odor. I use that. This was full earlier this morning. I buy it by the gallon, then I just refill this guy. I actually have 2 of these bottles. I had more, I gave a few away, but that stuff is great. Again, literally nonsense, but I use it primarily for all the crud around the battery. So yeah, nasty, nasty stuff. Crocs, of course. They're actually quite comfy for working in the garage, but don't recommend, maybe, I don't know. Either way, let's call it a day. This video is going to be like 3 hours long. But again, we are done. I am going to, so I placed that order for this guy. I may place one more order, hint, hint, because that's kind of really pissing me off that it's creating such a mess. And now literally eating into the paint, and like, look at it, like, look at this right here. Oh my gosh. What? Ew, gross. Again, I'm incredibly OCD. Most people are like, I don't care. That's fine, whatever. All right, let's wrap it up here in the garage. Still clean though. Also, are you guys proud of me? I finally got rid of the duct tape that every time I post, you guys make fun of me, but again, it works. It's in the trash. It's not recycling. I'm sorry, but it's in the garbage. All right, let's call it a day for real. So if you guys are still watching, thank you so much. That is essentially the doing the spark plugs on an STI. As far as time, if you're wondering, took me about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. This is also me taking my sweet, sweet time. I'm listening to music. And the thing that's most time consuming, but I love doing, is gathering footage as well. So again, But if you're uncomfortable, you've never done it before, definitely set an afternoon aside to do something like this. But again, it's really not that bad. Just be careful. Don't cross thread anything. Take your sweet time. And just have enough clearance to get your hands in there. It's really not bad. Honestly, I don't like doing it, but it's not like I can't do it. It's just more of like the time commitment. So yeah, I would say if you've never done it, definitely budget like 4 hours just to be on the safe side. But if you're in a hurry, if you've done it before, easy 2 hours, maybe even less. But again, that was me just taking my sweet time with everything. But we're all done. So till the next one, see you.